All right, all you awesome freight masters, happy Friday. And today, uh, I think some of what I'm going to talk about bears repeating. Like some of this I've discussed in previous videos and things. We are starting out 2023. We're what 6 days into the new year, so uh, I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about uh, utilizing all the resources available to you, utilizing Google, LinkedIn, directories, all this stuff. And I'm going to share all of this stuff with you guys live, right? Or at least a bunch of examples. I'm going to give you guys all these free leads. All you have to do, find out who the transportation manager is, because I'm not going to do, otherwise we'd be here for hours, right? Uh, and so I'm going to supply you guys with a bunch of resources today, again, to kind of help you build and grow uh, your book of business, right? Whether you're a carrier, whether you're a freight broker, this is for you. Okay. So, and if you guys have any comments, while I'm doing this, by all means, I will. What does this say? Oh, okay. I thought I had an error. And if you guys can hear me okay, could you guys give me like a thumbs up or something? Make sure I'm not sounding like a chipmunk. We had an issue week before last, and just want to make sure everybody can hear me okay. Um, so, uh, yeah, we've got all these great resources at our disposal. Like I said, utilizing Google, LinkedIn, all of that kind of thing. Some of this I've ran into before, like I said, but again, a lot of this bears repeating. Now, before I get started, if you are pursuing seasonal freight, you want to start targeting those prospects 2 to 3 months prior to that season starting, right? So whether it's produce, might be Christmas trees, whatever, right? We want to target that prospect a couple of months prior. Okay, so thomasnet.com, guys, really, it's a free resource. Um, just look up ThomasNet, look up your suppliers, and type it in. In this example, we're looking at automotive parts suppliers, right? And there's 361 suppliers. You can narrow this down, you can expand it. But for all intents and purposes, this is what I pulled up for you guys. Uh, and so just look up the company. Again, utilize your LinkedIn. Not everybody has Zoom info. If you do have Zoom info, that's a great resource there as well. But uh, there again, this is all, like I said, this is all about using the directories and things. And I'm going to share links after this is done. I'm going to add that to the description. So I apologize. I should have added it in prior, but I forgot, and it didn't hit me until after I started this stream. So, but I will make sure I've got links down to everything below, and you guys can see it as well. So yeah, ThomasNet #1. Okay, Engineering 360. There is a ton of companies here, right? And it breaks it down by manufacturer, distributor, and service supplier. So you can go through and look at all the manufacturers and distributors with a check mark. Now, not all of them are in the US. You've got some in Canada. I think there's Israel, Italy, there's the UK. I saw China. So, like, some of these won't apply, but a majority of them are based in the US. Okay. Um, so, yeah, hit that up. There's like green energy products in there, industrial supply products, machinery, printing, like all kinds of stuff, right? So there again, it's all about diversifying if you're at that point, or targeting, narrowing in on your niche, right? Guys, again, if you guys can hear me okay, just give me a yeah or sounds fine. That way I know I'm not sounding like a chipmunk. Just like I said, about 2 weeks ago, I think we had a little bit of an issue, and I did the whole video, and I I had ended up having to redo it, right? So yeah, let's just grab one of these for example here. Airtable Systems, right? Pull up their website. Oh, that's a bad website. I guess we need to go back. All right, let's find another one here. Communications, manufacturer, GPS stuff. Oh, wow, I'm striking out today. I just went through some of these, and machinery and fabrication. There we go. Finally, right? So you just look up this company, find out what it is that they do. Looks like probably just based on what they've got going on here, whether it's small parts, large parts. Some of it might be dry van, might be open deck, probably needs tarp, right? So you're probably going to have 4, 6, 8 foot drops depending. But the great thing about looking at some of these websites, and I don't know if this one does yet or not, I just randomly clicked on it. This company's based out of Texas. Is sometimes what they have like on the About Us page or the staff page like this one does, a lot of times they break this down, right? So there's the vice president, IT guy, human resources, accounting. A lot of times you'll see sales, warehouse coordinator, that might be a contact, director of sales. But sometimes you find out who the transportation manager is just through their website, right? CNC, machining. Okay, so there again, I might call and ask to talk to John. If John's not the appropriate person, then I'd find out who that is, or maybe verify that using LinkedIn, or if you have Zoom info, maybe verify it there as well. So okay, so there's 2 examples. Thomasnet.com for those of you just joining. Engineering 360. We kind of went through that. We're going to jump over to some food stuff for you guys now. So Food Shippers of America, here's a list of companies here. There's Pilgrims, ProSource Produce, Ardent Mills. It goes on and on and on. JBS, Ripple Foods. Some of these, maybe you guys already buy these products. There's Body Armor, right? We use Body Armor, Butterball, all of that. Some of these obviously are grocery stores and things like that. McCain Foods, I believe my wife buys that as well. So yeah, they're again just following that process. So again, guys, for those of you just joining, I'm gonna leave all the links for everything for you guys down below. Here's a national shippers list: email, phone number, fax, and a majority of this is going to be produce as well, right? We kind of jumped over, and this works for anything. Like I said, these are just some examples. And if you guys need the download for this, well, actually, I'm just going to include the link. Otherwise, there'd probably be too many emails. But yeah, there's 79 pages of shipper leads right here, all over the U.S., Arizona, Washington, California, Idaho, Texas, New Jersey, right? Massachusetts, coast to coast, Wisconsin, everywhere, right? Florida, okay? So that's another one that I'll be leaving down in there for you guys. You can also narrow this down by state, okay? Now, this is one, I believe I may have actually brought this one up before in a previous video. It's 43 pages, but look at all the different produce that gets shipped out of Virginia alone, right? Watermelons, tomatoes, sweet potatoes, sweet corn, squash, you get the idea. Christmas trees, right? We just talked about Christmas trees. And the beautiful thing about this particular list is that it automatically gives you like the growing season for each species of like apples or whatever it is that we're talking about. So these will start like in August and run through December. So, you'd probably want to start getting a hold of these companies like in June. Okay. Like I said, a couple of months prior, if you're focusing on seasonal produce, or seasonal freight, that kind of thing. And there's a list of all this stuff, right? What varieties that they ship, phone numbers, emails, contact names, everything is there for you. So guys, rather than just like looking abroad, sometimes looking at state directories and lists are a really great resource as well. Here's Asian pears, August through, let's see if we can find something maybe a little bit more into the current season. Scroll down here, cabbage, Christmas trees, obviously that just ended, cucumbers. Now, a lot of your root vegetables, as we've mentioned in previous videos, get shipped during the winter, right? So like things like carrots, potatoes, stuff like that. A lot of your winter garden type stuff. Here's spinach. They'll be starting in April. I would start getting a hold of that prospect now that are shipping spinach, right? So here we go. Commodities, cabbage, sweet corn, squash. There's got to be kale, collards. But yeah, they're in there. Lettuce, December, March, all the way through, right? So we want to start hitting these prospects now. Actually, we probably should have been contacting them last month. Like they might not be shipping this month and next month, but by March. So that gives you some time to, get your credit approvals, get your setup process done, start working on building your carrier relationships and getting them in place. And if you're a refrigerated carrier, owner, operator, small fleet owner, this is for you guys too, right? I mean, if you've got 5, 10, 20 trucks or something, hit up these shippers, if you're looking for direct freight. Nectarines, there again, I'd probably be getting a hold of them in like May. Peaches, same thing. Let's see, peanuts, year round. So this is an anytime kind of a shipper that you could reach out to, right? Let's see. And then here's the regions, some of these companies might not grow right there in Virginia, but they maybe have farms in California, Mexico, places like that they and they're shipping LTL, it looks like, truckload, that kind of thing. Peppers, July, there again, I'd probably be getting a hold of them in like May at the latest. Potatoes. Now this is kind of a weird one. They're only shipping potatoes June through August, because I know for a fact I do potatoes and they're moving now. So, but just maybe not out of Virginia per se. Pumpkins, there again, September. At the very latest, I would be getting a hold of those companies in August, right? So yeah, like I said, narrow this down to state by state. You can do this in every single state, right? Even Canada. All right, here's another one. Apples. Maybe you want to target apples. So here's a list of 5 different states that ship apples. Obviously, California, Michigan, New York, Pennsylvania, Virginia. I'm actually kind of surprised Washington isn't on this list, but there again, you could look up, the state of Washington, apple shippers, that kind of thing. But here's all the contact information, right? And this company exports right here. Oscar, he's their export ship contact. So yeah, Michigan, here you go. Guys, a golden platter or silver platter, here you go. Maybe onions, right? Here's an onion business. A lot of these business directories and things are great. So it's, when we use our search terms on Google and that kind of a thing, it's not just, onion shippers, which you might get some varied results, but maybe onion distributors directory or something, business directory. So yeah, there's a list of these Perry and Sons farms, California and Nevada. They're a grower, right? So they're probably going to be looking for carriers, brokers to assist them with their freight. There's their LinkedIn profile, right? Which makes it kind of convenient. Here's Idaho, Oregon. They're a packer and shipper. Yeah, it goes on and on and on, guys. There's potatoes. Obviously, you see some ads for different things. Yeah, and if all of this, none of this is of any interest to you, that you're like, Tim, what about drayage? What about, other types of stuff? I got you. Okay. Freight forwarders, brokers, carriers. You can work with freight forwarders. We've mentioned this before. Look up a directory of freight forwarders based in the US or Canada, even, right? Sometimes I've even had freight forwarders, outside of the country, maybe out of Spain or whatever, if you want to do that, or they've got offices in multiple countries, they're shipping stuff to the US, and, once it hits the port over here, they need carriers and brokers to kind of grab it and take it that final mile, right? So yeah, a ton of great stuff. Guys, here's A and C Green Energy. This goes back to our Engineering 360 list. I should have had that pulled up over here. This is a website that I had up earlier. But this is a prime example. If you're looking for, like solar panels, wind energy, any of that kind of stuff to ship, just make sure that you're familiar, because a lot of that stuff requires like air ride. It does have special requirements. Like we talked in one of our previous videos about, getting into like a micro niche or a more specialized type niche. So I want to leave that up for you guys as well. Again, I hope you guys found this helpful. Like I said, I'm going to drop links for everybody down below. If you like this video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Yeah. If you guys have suggestions for an upcoming video, questions, or anything, like I said, feel free to contact me, comment. I'll do my best. Obviously, I always try to answer everybody as soon as possible. But yeah, looking at 2023, I figured this was a good way to kind of start it out and give you guys some additional resources. If you need 30 days free on your DAT, I've got links for that as well. If you don't already have DAT, a lot of great stuff. Truckersresource.com. We've got stuff for your drivers and carriers. Freightbrokerresources.com. Like I said, all about trying to network, help you guys out, and share some information, right? We don't have to be so tight-lipped about everything. So I guess with that, I will bring this to a close. I love you all, and as always, be kind to one another. Bye-bye now.